Hello everyone, my name is Jeff. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like, that bell notification, and be sure to stick around and see what we have going on. Hey everybody, just wanted to pop on here and make a video about my vacation last weekend to Kodak, Tennessee. Me and my wife drove up to Kodak, Tennessee, the Pigeon Forge area, and met up with some other fellow blue tubers to basically have a home base to then go and do movie hunts and go places to like hang out and shop. I got to meet lots of great people. We had Tim Talks Talkies with his wife April and their roommates Warren and Jess. We had Bob's Blu-rays. We had Mizzy. We had Corey with Wilkie's music and movies and music. We had Ryan with Ryan with movies. We had Film Addiction, Cody and his wife Emily. And we also had Johnny and his wife April. And then we had the uncle we all know and love, Tony, Basement Blues, with us as well. We also met up with Dell on movies when we ended up going to Orbit. So that's what we ended up doing. We all got together in Kodak, and we went to Knoxville to shop McKay's, and we went to a flea market as well in that area. We spent Saturday afternoon driving to Asheville, North Carolina to go to Orbit and a record store called Mr. K's. While we were in Asheville at Orbit, we met up with Del on movies. He drove over from the eastern part of the state and had lunch with us, and then went shopping with a few others after lunch. So I'm basically just going to show off some of the things that I got that were recommendations of other people that were there, or things that I found because of other people there. I had a list of things that I was going for, and I got most of the things that were on my list that I seen. And I got more things than I'm going to show off in this video, because I don't think anyone wants to sit here and watch me talk for over an hour about one haul and one pickup. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to go over some of the highlights in terms of what I got. So I'm going to start off with music. And the first thing that I found, and I eyeballed it, was Boards of Canada. Music Has a Right to Children on vinyl record. I know of this band because of my friend Brian Kage, also known as Super Music producer Kuma. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have known about this band, and that's a very amazing album. And then in terms of other music that I found all of these because of Ryan. So on Saturday, when we were at Mr. K's record in Asheville, he spotted The Great Milenko. Just one of my all-time favorite albums. It was the first one that I ever owned physically. Like, that was not a burned CD. If you know, you know. And I have it, but this was a mint copy, and I needed to get something that was kind of Juggalo related on this trip. And then when we went to McKay's the second time, because we did go a second time, Texas Roadhouse kind of messed up the first night at McKay's, so we went back on Sunday. And when we were there on Sunday, there was a bookshelf that I hadn't noticed that Ryan pointed out to me. So he found this album, then he found the bookcase that had the other good rap albums, or I say good, well, my style rap on it. So I ended up with Tech Nine, The Collabs, Dominion, and Tech Nine, The Storm. And you will notice a theme here. But this is the last one that I ended up finding. But it was Tech Nine, something else. And all three of these albums had DVDs in them as well, so that's really cool. I dig Tech Nine. Those are all from a few years ago when I was still kind of into him as well. So I knew what those albums were, and I didn't have them, so it's kind of nice to get them. So Cody, with film addiction, he gave me one out of his stuff that he brought, because everybody brought things that they were kind of giving away and that they just wanted to purge from their collection per se. Things to sell to Orbit if Orbit would buy them, things to sell to McKay's, and then things just to trade amongst ourselves. Thousands and thousands of slipcovers. So a lot of our naked movies got closed after this trip. But Cody started something of a small trend. They were all kind of quite surprised that the only Hitchcock movie that I had was Psycho. So Cody told me I must leave with The Birds. So I now have that. And Corey decided to jump in. I believe he had these upgraded. So he gave me The Man Who Knew Too Much and Rope. I also got this from Corey as well. And that is The Lighthouse. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and it's an A24, so I'm trying to check more of the A24 stuff out. Next, I'm going to go with a particular person in which we got things. We got more than I'm showing. These were just some of the highlights, some of the things that I liked. But Tim was just super grateful all weekend, or like super like giving, I guess is the better word to say. I'm sorry. He just had all these statues that he didn't want them anymore. He left, and there were still statues sitting on the stand in the living room. Like he left, and they just left there. So we ended up with some. These were the two that I was really into, and that was the Gwenpool. Thought she was real cool, and the Christmas Harley, and she's solid. I mean, very nice and rosin. So thank you, Tim, for those. Those are very nice. I also got a couple movies from he had a box of movies that he was purging as well. So I got the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy. I do have the first one on 4K in my all format long box edition, but I don't have 2 or 3, and I don't know if I'm going to piece those out on 4K. And I mean, this just saves me a while. I didn't have them, and I love these films. I also got Smile on 4K, which my wife likes this movie. She's seen it 5 or 6 times now. My son even liked this movie. He seen this movie in the box when we came home, and it was the first one we watched after we got home from vacation, because he said he wanted to watch the Scary Smile movie. So that was cool. And then the other one I grabbed from Tim, because I didn't have it, and I've never seen it, but lots of people talk about it, and it's a Scream Factory Collector's Edition, and that is 1988's The Blob. I've only heard good things about it, and I know that it's probably blasphemous that I like horror movies and I haven't seen it. So thank you, Tim, for those. These ones were recommendations from Bob, from Bob's Blu-rays, as we were out and about and shopping around. Actually, this one I think was actually, yeah, these two were from Bob's, yeah. The Invisible Man. He said this was a really good one, and an excellent 4K to have in the collection. So, and then he put this one in my hands and said I must come home with it, that it was amazing. And I believe it is. I believe I've seen it before. I'd have to start watching it again to really remember if I have, but I have it now. Thanks to you, Bob. And then this one was a recommendation from Johnny. And I believe Bob also recommended it to Corey, but then Johnny recommended it to me, and that's Jason Bateman in Bad Words, a Focus Films feature. And I've never seen this, but I really dig Jason Bateman, so Oh, and he directed it too. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'll be checking this one out real soon. I got that one because so the next one was Tony, and I saved Tony for last because he there was a point on Friday night when we were at McKay's in Knoxville, and I'm standing there at that Disney wall, and it's just me and Tony Basement Blues sitting there on that Disney wall, and we're just pulling movies off, and he's asking me if I have this one, and he was helping me find all kinds of like 3D movies and family movies. But we're not going to talk about those. Instead, I'm going to talk about ones that he kind of pointed out to me. So when we were at the flea market, he had said that that this was a must-have to have in anyone's collection. To be honest, I've not seen very many Coen brother films. So I figured I'd give this one a go. And like I said, Tony said that I should have it. So I grabbed it. And then this was one that he picked out for me at Orbit. And it's called Heart and Soul. And I love these VHS like style slipcovers. They're just really awesome. I just really dig them. But this cast, look at this: Robert Downey Jr., Charles Gordon, Tom Sizemore, some great people. Like I really dig Charles Gordon. The more stuff I see him in, the more I dig him. But I've never seen this one, so kind of excited to check that out. And then this one came out of Tony's collection, and I believe he was just trying to purge it because he was trying to get rid of a bad movie. But he also tricked me into my first Region B Blu-ray, because I kept telling everyone that I didn't mess with anything but Region A, just to make things easy player-wise. But I did end up with Sean Connery Ransom, and he said that this movie you would suspect it would be good. It has everything, all the ingredients to be a good movie, but it's just terrible. So it'll probably just sit on the shelf with my HD DVDs for now. But if I ever get a Region Free player, I'll probably give it a go. It gives me a reason to get one. Another one I got from him, and like I said, these things that I got from him, I paid him for it. We did a transaction, but they were definitely not full price. Like I said, he's a gem in this community. If I've not said it before, I'll say it again. He's not out to make money off of anyone. He's just out to make sure that other people get to enjoy movies and love movies the way that he does. So with that being said, I'll just kind of fast travel through some of the ones. I needed this one. I've not seen this. I was being stubborn, waiting for 4K. So now with part 3 coming out, I'll get to check that out. Scoob. Been wanting to watch this one with the kids. I heard it was a pretty good time. So we'll get to check that out. That'll be pretty fun. The Steelbook for Paranorman. That'll match up really nice with the Coraline one. I don't have the other two. I have the steelbooks for them, but they're empty. But I don't have the movies. I have those on 3D. I have all of them on 3D now, I believe. I got Cujo. Like I said, these were all ones that Tony, I believe, was just trying to kind of get out of his way, because what we didn't buy off of him, he took and sold to Orbit, and then what Orbit didn't take, we kind of picked back through. The Steelbook for Strange New Worlds. I'm very excited to see this one because it has Dolby Vision HDR on it, and my dad said this was a very colorful movie and that it really popped. And I remember seeing the trailer for season 2 in the theater. We went to see some movie, I can't remember what movie it was last summer, but they showed the trailer for the season 2 premiere of this, and it looked awesome on the big screen. So I figured this will probably look really awesome on 4K. This was a holy grail item that I was looking for. I never know what the price of things are used or after they're sold out, because if I miss out on them, I don't go and look for them. I just don't. So I wasn't sure what none of this stuff was worth, but I mean, I got some stuff that I missed. This is going to be just packaged because once I figured that I missed out on it and I wasn't going to pay the asking price for it, I did find a good deal on the green slipcover, and I did not dig the green slipcover very much. The packaging wise was what I wanted. I may not open it though because I can watch the movie in 4K already. It just kind of depends because I know the Blu-rays are locked, so I can't really watch any of the Blu-rays anyways without region free. So I may not open this for a little while, but it's very nice to have this because it was one that I really wanted that I just missed out on. Another one that I didn't know had this big box. I'm still pretty new to Arrow big box, but that's Donnie Darko. I knew that it had an Arrow 4K, a standard, but I did not know that it had a big box. I've never seen the big box before. I just really love this movie. It's always been one of my favorites, and now that since I have it on the 4K, I probably could have kept my Blu-ray disc. So I could play it in different rooms of the house or whatever. But being able to get this, I in turn was able to give my Blu-ray to my son, and he could add it to his collection. So I got to share the magic of Donnie Darko with someone else, and that's an even better thing about buying this set, because it's a movie that I think he'll enjoy, and getting to share it with somebody else is always a plus. And then the last one that I got from Tony, he really saved my butt on this one. I don't have to worry about the scalpers. I did not think that it was a very popular movie. I had never heard of it. I didn't think twice about it. And then I also missed out on the restock. So I missed out on all 23 or 2,600 copies of it. But Tony was able to get me hooked up with a copy of Unlawful Entry. Like I said, I've never seen it before, but I really dig Ray Liotta and Russell Crowe. Man, I've been watching a few of his movies. I just watched Breakdown. Oh my goodness! If this is anything like that in terms of like a psychological thriller and like Russell Crowe, this is probably pretty good too. So I'm kind of excited to check this out. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, Tony. And then a couple that I picked up that I was just excited about getting from my collection. We'll fire through these pretty quick. Is Videodrome. It was I picked it up obviously because it's Criterion, and I really dig the spine. The spine's nice and colorful, so it'll stick out. But it's David Cronenberg. And lots of people in the community talk about him and talk about how you should see more of his movies. And to be honest, I'm not so sure of how many of his movies I've seen. I don't think it's very many. So this is exciting. And whoever had this before me did the Blu-ray sticker. I did do the Blu-ray because, I mean, look at that. Look at that price. I mean, that's Orbit. Orbit's out here for the collectors. I mean, that's a good price. And the video transfer on Criterion's on Blu-ray are pretty good from what I understand. I'm still kind of new to the Criterion collection. But the price difference, like it was like $32 or $34. This was almost half the price or about half the price of the 4K. So I just get me a nice Criterion in the collection. I picked this up at McKay's, and I picked it up because I had missed out on the full box set, so I figured, well, I'll just get them individually, or I'll at least get the first one because I've only ever seen it like once when I was little. And I say little, but I was like 7, 8, maybe 9 when I seen it for the first time. It was one of the earlier horror movies that I was shown, and that's Psycho. I got it for about like $13, and I figured, well, I missed out on the big box set, so I'll probably have to piece them all together anyways. So I got it. I just got the studio release. No big deal. It's nice to have it in the collection. I didn't have it at all, so I ended up with 4 new Hitchcock movies this trip. So that was nice. What I was able to get though at Orbit, I think it was the last one they had in stock, and I believe Johnny missed out on this, but he said he didn't see it, so I think he was just more upset that he didn't see it before I seen it and he was already checked out, and I do apologize about that, Johnny, but it's in a good home, I promise. And that's the Psycho, The Story Continues box set. I promise you this is in a good home. I'm going to be watching all of these with my son. This is a series that I really want to check out again, because it's been a long time since I've seen these. It's going to be almost like new movies. Like, depending on how much I remember, I may end up putting these on Letterboxd's new watches, but I'll get to share that with him. And then the biggest holy grail of the whole trip for me and my collection, just based solely on what we like in our family and what my family has grown attached to, and that has a lot to do with my oldest son, and that's the fact that we really like Chucky. Now, I have no Chucky on 4K. I had bought him the Scream Factory 1, 2, 3 Chucky set that came with the posters and the figure, because he just really loves Chucky. He had that Blu-ray yellow box with the lenticular Chucky on it on Blu-ray for the longest time, with all 7 films in it. So I figured we'd start him off and get him the trilogy, and he doesn't really want all of the films anyways. He said he just doesn't want Seed of Chucky in his collection and that kind of thing. So we're probably going to finish piecemealing his Chucky collection together for Scream Factory. But I hadn't bought any for me, and the only one I owned in my collection was the original Child's Play on Blu-ray. So while I was checking out at Orbit, I always forget that they leave their box sets behind the counter, and they kind of always get me on that, because I always get one more thing, and this was my one more thing. But I mean, this is, if you're part of this community that I'm a part of, you've seen unboxings of this all over the place. People were very excited about getting this in an all-in-one box. Yes, region locked Blu-rays of Child's Play 1 and Living with Chucky. Like I said, I have Child's Play 1 studio release Blu-ray. I think it was the 20th anniversary, and then I don't have Living with Chucky, but my son does. And most of the time with documentaries, I can be a one and done watch, but I may actually want to get the Living with Chucky as part of that that numbered line that it's a part of anyways. So that didn't really affect me for this box set. I get the rest of it in 4K, and if I want to watch the first one, I'll just borrow my son's off of him, and at some point I may just buy the first one. But this is a really nice box set, and this was a holy grail for my collection, and a big pickup. And just something that every time I look up on my shelf, I'll see this nice big yellow spine, and it's going to remind me that I got to pick up this really badass box set on a weekend where I was shopping with some badass people. Getting to meet all of these people in this community was one of the coolest things that I've got to do. And I am just very grateful that I was invited along, and that, I believe I was one of the first people that Bob reached out to about it, mainly just because of where I live at, and how excited I was about the meetups just in general. And I really just want to thank Bob for getting it set up and finding the right people that meshed well together in a living quarters for 4 days. That's a hard thing to do. And I felt like everything was really nice and comfortable, and I would stay with any of these people again. all of these people were wonderful. And they just show me why I'm so excited and proud to be a part of this this Blue Tube community. We love movies, and we love sharing our love with movies with other people. We have competitions within our community, and it's all about still the love of movies when it comes down to it. I've been part of a lot of competitions within the community. I've won a few. I've lost just as many, if not more, I think. And I'm glad that some of these things might be coming back around, especially after I've got to meet these people. No one it gets in front of this camera and is any different. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Any different in front of this camera than they were in person. I would consider any of these people a true friend of mine, and I would hope that they would do the same. I believe they would do the same. I don't even say I have to hope, but I just want to say that I'm excited about any more possible meetups. I would like to get more community involved myself. I don't have a lot of followers here, but I appreciate every single one of you. And if you follow my channel and you ever want to do a meetup at like Orbit or something, please reach out. Orbit's not very far from me in the grand scheme of how far some of us are spread apart. If people ever want to do a meetup, I would totally be down to do more of these and just hang out and hunt on a day with people. So if anyone ever wants to, just reach out, because something like this was a lot of fun. And just doing even just random get-togethers to just hunt for movies and talk about movies and have a lunch. That's what's magical about our community, is we can do things like that without really ever meeting each other before. But if you stuck all the way through this video, I do appreciate it. I did buy some things. I was a bit splurgy. I am, as what someone called Johnny, probably privileged. If you don't know about that, go watch the live stream on Bob's Blu-rays channel. He'll tell you all about the guy at Mr. K's calling us privileged for our used Blu-ray buying. But I'm privileged just to have found the friends I've found here. But like I said, if you've stuck through this video, thank you. And I hope to see you around again. Goodbye.